Thank you for joining me, everyone. I'm Gatesy, and that is Duke. We're Forged from Irons, and we're on the wrong side. Hang on.
There we go.
Yeah,
Right, and go for that. I was getting.
we're kind of like Ant and Deck people, you know. We got sort of like I'm usually on the left, he's on the right.
God,
So,
that threw me. Then I didn't enjoy that at all.
yeah,
God,
that was a bit strange. So, how are you, my friend?
I'm very well, sir. Very well. As I mentioned to you before, got news today, tonight, last night, depending on when we're putting this one out, that my pub gets to open again for garden service. So, you know, you add to that the happiness that we got from the happiness that we got from the Leeds game. It was a really, really good night for me.
Oh yeah, Leeds up to 5th. Isn't it? I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? We've got 11 games left in the season, 48 points, 5th place. You couldn't possibly have
It's
thought that
madness,
at the beginning
mate.
Of the season. Just ridiculous.
Is it? How many games did you say? Sorry,
11 games left.
So why? And excuse me with my book. I've got us down as playing 8 more games.
We've played 27 games as of right now.
So I've got us down as Man U, Arsenal, Wolves, Newcastle, Chelsea. Man U, Arsenal, Wolves, Newcastle, Chelsea, Burnley, Brighton, Southampton.
Let me just check. Hang on.
Unless I'm absolutely losing my mind, young man.
Yeah, I think you probably are. Let me just, because it definitely says on the league table in front of me that we've played 27. So there's 38 in a league season. So that's definitely 11. So the games we have left, we obviously have Manchester United on Sunday.
Yeah.
Then the following Sunday, we have Arsenal. Then it's on the 3rd of April, Wolves. 10th of April is Leicester. 17th of April is Newcastle. 24th of April is Chelsea. Burnley is on the 1st of May. 8th of May is Everton. 11th of May is Brighton. 15th of May is West Brom. And 23rd of May is Southampton.
Well, I've lost the plot then because I missed Leicester, Everton, and Big Sam's useless. Sorry, West Brom.
You're not a fan of Big Sam?
We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh dear.
So, all right, I need to add 7 points to my total. 26.
Oh look, he's scribbling away, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I had a conversation with my dad the other day. We're never going to get him on here. Don't even ask.
Oh.
Listen, honest to God, let me tell you a story about my old man before we hit this review. 27 minutes to go. He came in to see me at one of my old pubs about 8 years ago now, in one of the pubs that I was the assistant manager in. He came to the bar. Didn't know, ordered his drink. I didn't know he was there. One of the girls came up to me and went, I was assistant manager. One of the girls came up to me and went, this man's just walked in the pub. I'm not sure if we should be serving or not. I went, I'll go deal with it. So I walked around the corner. I was like, oh, hello, Dad. And she cringed and went and hid in a corner. She felt very uncomfortable. So, yeah, he's got a face for radio. He's definitely got a face for radio, the old man. He'll agree. Listen, I'll point him in the direction of this. Don't worry about it. But no, we sat down and we had a conversation the other day just based around prediction. In fact, I won't do my predictions now, but we sat down and you and me will do a video on this. Every other bloody channel seems to be doing it, so we'll do one. Just of predictions of the last 11 games and points and stuff. And I did that with him, which is why I've got it written down in my trusty book. But anyway, back to last night. What did you think, sir? What was your opinion?
My opinion on how we played, not the best, if I'm being brutally honest. I think, and I've got some of the stats here in front of me.
Why am I not surprised?
I know. You know, what can I say? Probably the stat that worried me the most, and it's, to be honest, there's a bit of a theme developing in a lot of our recent
Please don't
games.
say passing. I'm bored with you and your passing.
Well, okay. What do you think our pass accuracy was last night?
Oh, listen, if you're bringing it up, it's going to be less than 80. All right, leave, less than 85, I reckon.
Keep going.
Lower? 75.
Keep going.
70.
Keep going.
65.
Little bit more. It was 68.
Wow.
That's how bad we were. That worries me. That worries me.
No,
because if you look
I'll tell you why.
Our recent games, that's not an uncommon trend.
No,
but on the flip side, we won 2-0.
Right. Thinking about it, I'd like to know the breakdown of that for the second half, if I'm honest. Have you got that or not? No?
I don't have the breakdown per half.
Don't go looking
for
for
over the 90 minutes.
No, I mean, I'm not surprised. The way Leeds play is a very high tempo, and it's start to finish. And again, I've spoken about this already today. It's a very high tempo press that they play. Now, sometimes it works for them, and the opening 10 minutes of yesterday's game proved that. Sometimes it works for them. Sometimes it doesn't. We didn't do ourselves any favours by misplacing passes, but on the reverse side of that coin, they put us under pressure to make those mistakes. And what they did really well yesterday when we did have the ball was not just close down the men and stopping the passing options. They closed down the passing lanes and they marked space really, really well. So one thing that I have to say, two things impressed me with Leeds yesterday. One was the fact that they marked the passing lanes. They closed down the space really well. And secondly, Rafinha. He was honestly, every time the geezer got the ball last night, I kind of held my breath. There's a couple of times he made Ogbonna look like Diop, like he didn't even exist out there. Like I was like, oh dear God, please no. No. I was like watching like this for a little while because it was just like, oh God. I said to you last night via WhatsApp, wasn't it? The next goal was going to be incredibly, incredibly critical.
Yeah.
At 2-0 with about 25 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Think
if they'd have scored there, that might have changed the entire complexion of the game.
But then, as you mentioned it, if they get the first, they've got to come looking for the second, which opens them up at the back again, and probably would have opened them up more than what they were at 2-0. They were still cautious because they had to get that goal to get back into it, so they still were slightly defensive minded. But if they got that goal, that defense I think might have thrown caution to the wind and abandoned all hope. You went here kind of thing. But I mean, listen, I said it to Fatboy James Fever last night on Twitter. Conversation we had after the game. We won ugly. For a change. It didn't matter. You know what? We always talk every season about the big boys.
Yeah.
Man U, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. The big six, Sky Sports 6, as Gonzo likes to call them. And even when they play badly, they still win. Whether it be a scrappy 1-0 win, whether it's the other team, like yesterday, couldn't hit a barn door with a cow's ass on a banjo. It was Bamford. Bamford last night was he shouldn't even be mentioned in a breath playing for England. That's how bad he was last night. And for me, it kind of exposed him as to what he is.
Yep.
He's not consistent. He's not consistent enough for me. He has a run of 1 or 2, maybe 3 games where he'll find the back of the net a couple of times. He'll have a good game. And then he disappears. He disappears again.
Very streaky, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he certainly shouldn't be mentioned in the same breath as the likes of, Harry Kane as a potential England starter. Not in the slightest.
Not the same pitch.
If he's being talked about as possibly getting an England call-up, then the man who's now just aligned himself with Jamaica should have also been in with a shout after his last 12 months since we come out of lockdown last year.
Has it been confirmed that he's going to represent Jamaica?
I believe so. I think confirmed? I saw something that I think he's definitely agreed.
I'm talking by Michail Antonio himself.
But yeah, I believe so. I saw a press release on Google when I Googled just Hammers News and or West Ham News, not the Facebook page. I Google searched West Ham News and I do believe it came up. What obviously I know you like your stats and I know you were just saying 66%.
68.
You said you were concerned by it.
I am.
Why?
I think you might be able to get away with that sort of wastefulness with the ball against teams sort of like the mid or lower range of the Premier League at home. I think you might be able to get away with it, and we can obviously get away with it sort of quite well because defensively we're quite strong. Unfortunately, I just think if we're going to be that reluctant to keep possession, the better teams will make us pay. That's what concerns me. And as I say, if you look at a lot of the recent games that we've had, that sort of pass accuracy stat is actually, last night was not an anomaly. Last night is a trend. If you look at it, a lot of it is around about the 70% mark, give or take. And as I say, that does concern me. Because you look at all the other teams and they're up in around the high 70s, low 80s. And we're sort of like low 70s, high 60s. And we're kind of getting away with it. Like I say, don't get me wrong.
But that's all that matters, right?
If you can play, I'm not going to say badly, and I've said it to a few people, sub-optimally, okay? If you can play sub-optimally and win 2-0, then you are doing something right. So last night, I'm not happy with the performance. I am more than happy with the result, and I am more than happy to find us in 5th place with 48 points. So please don't misunderstand me, anyone watching this. I'm happy with that. But I just think we need to brush up. It's a basic thing, being able to pass the ball from player A to player B successfully.
Yeah, I mean, listen, everything you said there is very much, you're on the nose with it. I can't come back. I don't have a counter argument because what you're saying is you kind of nailed it. My belief, though, with this is, it was Leeds and be all and end all. As I said in the preview, we kind of know exactly what kind of game they play. All right. We know they're going to come out, and exactly what I said a second ago, close down the space really well. So they restrict or they limit the kind of options we have to make the passes. Be it, they've blocked off the simple out ball there to Benrahma. They've closed off Souček directly in front of you. So you either have to try and hit it long to Antonio as not necessarily a long ball, but a long pass.
Yep.
Or you've got to try and find a very minimal piece of space in front of you within, 20, 30 yards that you can nip a quick pass into without them sticking a foot out or stepping into that lane, because they do that so well, Leeds. They do defend the space really well. So, yes, it's a worry to a degree, and it will sit here at the back of my mind going into Sunday and the games going forward, because like you say, if we do tend to give that away in those games, we will be punished. But on the flip side to that, I also think that we don't tend to do it as much against the bigger sides. We discussed before, it was kind of in the high 70s against United in the Cup, wasn't it? We didn't have it wasn't an awful passing performance, but it wasn't, in the 80s, if you will. So I don't think we tend to ride our luck against the the smaller, the lower clubs in the league. You see what I mean? We kind of do tend to push our luck slightly.
Southamptons.
And we get away with it. You know, Villa, Palace, Southampton, Fulham, Sheffield United. I'd even go as far including that Everton. The game against Tottenham.
All the Scousers have just turned off.
I won't say what I was going to say. So no, I mean, yeah, it's a concern, and I could probably guarantee that Moyes and the other lot on the coaching staff have got them in probably later on this afternoon after giving them the morning off and sat down and kind of done a review of the game and have said, look, this ain't good enough, boys. This passing stat ain't where we want to be. But on the other side to that, you know, Declan Rice said it coming off of the pitch last night. I'm not happy with the performance. I love the result. The result was great, but I ain't happy with that performance. So if he's coming out and he's saying that, and what we saw last week against City when you had Soufal on his knees, on his knees crying in the middle of the pitch because he gave everything out there. He was absolutely distraught, the poor sod. When you see that and you hear Declan Rice saying what Declan Rice is saying, these guys want more from themselves. These guys want they want to deliver for us. And I haven't seen that in a West Ham team for a long, long time. There was always excuses that were being made. You know, we mentioned him earlier, Big Sam. He always made excuses. Oh, we had more of the possession. I don't give a shit about having 89% of the possession. We've just lost 4-0 because they scored 4 goals with 11% of the game. Yesterday, second half, I think we had 36% possession in a certain time frame. But that ain't good enough. But we won 2-0.
Yeah.
You know,
always room for improvement.
Yeah, of course there is. Was Bielsa doing his Big Sam on the Zoom calls afterwards and saying, "Well, we had 74% possession in 15 minutes. I think that's amazing." You still lost 2-0. That wasn't bad
because he can't speak any English after 3 years here.
Listen, that weren't bad. But that's my point. You know, there was always excuses.
Any Argentinians have just switched off now because you've offended them as well. Scousers, Argentinians.
I ain't gonna lie, mate. I thought he was Italian, so screw it.
Oh no! Now the Italians have switched off.
Anyway, but that's my point. You know, you've got Soufal crying on the pitch. You've got Declan Rice coming out and saying, "Listen, we won, but it ain't good enough. It ain't good enough. We've got to be better." Whereas a few years ago, you would have had Big Sam going, just unlucky, really. You know, we were just doing we had 80% of possession. We should have won. I don't want to hear that no more. You know, the fact that these boys want to push on and deliver for us as fans, and they really do. You can see that in the interviews. Declan Rice, like I say, we're not happy with the performance. We know we were bad tonight. We know we can do better. The guys are playing with smiles on their faces, which is making us smile. You know, Tommy mentioned in the video we just finished, didn't he? About Noble.
Spoiler.
I don't care. Shut up. Mark Noble.
They'll find out.
He gets to do his final game now in front of fans. Fingers crossed. You know, I got goosebumps thinking of that moment. Of being able to go back to the ground and give the man the send-off he deserves. Kind of hoping the last game of the season this season, Southampton, isn't it? I do believe we'll add fans back in the stadium for that one because it's
the plan is 10,000 from what I've been told.
Listen, we make more. 4,000 of us make more. 4,000 of us at Old Trafford make more noise than 62,000 Man United fans. So I ain't concerned about. Oh, it's only 10,000. Listen, there'll be more noise in that stadium.
If I'm one of them, mate, I'll be bellowing. You know, trust me.
Oh, mate, trust me. So that you know, just goosebumps at going back to the grounds again, especially knowing that we've got something going on.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give you 5 insights about yesterday's game, Duke. You want to hear them?
Bring it on.
Okay, so number 1, before the game kicked off, we were looking to complete our first league double over Leeds since 1953-54. That was in the second tier, however. Last time we beat them in both top flight meetings in a season, when do you think that was?
Well, if that's in the top tier, then we're going back. Oh, I've got stuck magnet. But what year? 50?
53-54 was the last time we did the league double over Leeds.
30,
that
35?
was in the second tier.
1935?
1929-1930.
What about
Last night we did something that we hadn't done in 71 years, if my maths is correct. There you go.
Listen, I ain't gonna test you on it. I'm just reaching into my beer cupboard. Hang on.
Number 2, Leeds had lost only 1 of their 10 Premier League away games against us, winning 6 and drawing 3. They lost 3-0 at Upton Park, March 1998. And this was their first visit to us since a 4-3 victory in November 2002 in the Premier League.
I was going to say, league-wise, they've not been top flight for some time now, which is why that stat is what it is.
Skews it. Yeah, as I say, as far as Premier League games are concerned, not Championship, which we would have played
obviously they were out of top flight for a significant number of years, weren't they?
Number three. Now this is a doozy.
Read between the lines was that.
Yesterday was the 100th different league meeting between West Ham and Leeds. It was a centenary match.
Wow.
Yeah. And Leeds were the 13th different side that West Ham have faced 100 times or more in league football. Yeah?
Right.
Not bad. Now, we have only a lower win rate against 2 teams of Liverpool at 19.8% and Arsenal at 23.2%. And then the next one is Leeds at 25.3%. So they're the 3 teams.
So 20% of games against Leeds in 100 that we've won.
25.3% is our win percentage against Leeds.
That really, in a grand total, that really isn't good enough. That's no disrespect. Like, I understand with Liverpool and I understand with Arsenal to a certain degree that those numbers are going to be quite low. But that's difficult. That's difficult to take that on.
And this is another one of the 7 opponents that Leeds have faced 100 or more times in league football, which includes obviously us.
Yeah.
Their highest win rate is against, who do you think?
I'm going to go with one of the Sky Sports top 6. No, it's not. Is it? No, it is one of the Sky Sports top 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Their highest win percentage of any team they have played in league football 100 times or more is us at 47%. There you go.
Again.
Factoid number 4. Before last night's game, we were looking to win 3 consecutive home Premier League matches for the first time since March 2019, while manager David Moyes hadn't won 3 in a row at home since he won his last 6 as Everton manager in 2013.
Wow.
There you go.
I suppose with Moyes, with Moyes, I understand. You know, he had that kind of...
Just spilt me tea.
That's all right. No, sorry.
I'll let it get out.
Yeah. No, with Moyes, I can understand. You know, he had that poison chalice at United.
Yeah. Everybody knew that was going to be a problem.
He had the difficult time at Sunderland, didn't he? And then he, then he went, was it to Spain?
Real Sociedad. I think he went to Sociedad, then
Sunderland,
if I remember rightly.
But yeah, I mean, when you look at his the 3 back-to-back jobs, I can understand why he hasn't won more than 3 or 3 on the trot in that kind of time. I did notice last night. I'll give you this one before you come back at me with number 5. I did, and I'm hoping it's not your number 5. After a defeat this season, we've bounced back with in 6 defeats. The last 6 defeats, we've bounced back with either a win or a draw in the game directly afterwards.
We've only lost 2 games in the league consecutively, that is, once, and that was the first 2 games of the season.
Yes.
Since then, every defeat that we've had, we've come back and at least not lost.
Well, we've won 5 and we've drawn 1 after the last 6 defeats. And I saw that and I was just like, that's a sign of a side that's bucked its ideas up, isn't it? And he's learning from its mistakes. The fact that we haven't lost consecutive games since the start of the season shows that the progress that we've made. Because let's not lie, as West Ham fans, that's the norm, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that we've gone on a losing streak, as they call it. It's not one we want, but it's a losing streak. And we've done that many times. Many times. So the fact that we've kind of bucked that trend this season for me, has been outstanding. Absolutely brilliant. Number 5.
Number 5, ladies and gentlemen. Leeds, before last night's game, had lost 12 of their last 13 matches in London in all competitions, and they drew the other 1. They lost all 4 in the capital before last night in the Premier League, and they are the only one of 3 top-flight sides yet to win a point in London this season. Duke, tell me, who are those other 2 teams, do you think? I'll give you a clue. They're towards the bottom of the league.
I would say I'd probably be looking at Sheffield United.
Yep.
How many? One more.
Sorry?
One more?
Yeah, there's one more. I'll give you a clue. He's your favourite manager.
I was going to say it's either West Brom or Burnley. So, yeah.
Stick it in chip mixer, put it on Big Andy's head.
I mean, listen, I'm sick and tired of hearing that bloke's name.
He's never been relegated from the Premier League, Duke.
Yeah, that finishes today.
He might walk before. He might walk. You never know.
Yeah, you know what? And I would not put it past the arrogance of the man. I would not. I wouldn't be surprised if I woke up tomorrow morning or, after the weekend to read that Big Sam's quit so he can keep his record intact. It wouldn't surprise me. The arrogance of the man is disgusting. When he took over, I think I was here at the pub. I'd just taken over at the pub, and the lady that lives up the road here, she came up to me and she went, "I can't believe we've got that scumbag in charge." Now, she's not a young lady, all right? She's not. I'd say she's probably in her 50s, and she comes up to me and literally, she looks like that sweet little old granny kind of, that kind of character. Yeah. I can't believe that scumbag. Where did that come from? And he's always in the dugout and chewing. I don't like it. I was like, Jesus, I like you. I'm going to fit in around here. And it was one of the first, because she saw me obviously in my West Ham shirt. And it was one of the first conversations I had with her. So it's not just me. It's not just me that don't like him. I mean, I honestly, the arrogance of the man.
Was it your mother-in-law?
No. We don't talk football, me and the mother-in-law. We don't talk.
I thought you were going to say you don't talk.
No, no. No, let's leave it there. Should we leave it? Let's leave that there. I don't know. Starring role in The Hobbit, I think.
Ooh, she might watch this.
Yeah, that's my worry.
Yeah.
No, she knows.
Oh dear.
We're all right now. We're good. My word! Breaking news. I know this is going out tomorrow morning.
It is.
Juventus were 1-0 down earlier when we were recording.
Yep.
Yeah. They've just won 2-1 in Porto. It's now 3-1 aggregate. It's gone to extra time.
Ah, there you go. So I've just put up on the screen, that was the team that we took to the field yesterday. We had Fabianski in goal, thank goodness. Back four was Cresswell, Diop, Dawson and Soufal from left to right. Two holding midfielders, Declan Rice, the captain, and Thomas Souček. No brainer, really. If they're fit, they play.
Yeah.
This is where it sort of... I don't like to blow my own trumpet. No, I do. Stuff it. Ben Rama on the left.
No one else is going to blow it for you.
Position. There you go. And Fornell's on the right and Antonio up top. Now, those of you that want to go back and have a look on the Forge from Iron Facebook page, the Twitter feed and all the rest of it, you'll see that a couple of days ago, that was exactly the team, exactly the players, exactly the formation. There you go.
Shut up. I mean, to be honest,
do as well with the Leeds team. However, I only got 9 out of their 11 players right.
To be fair, though, I'm looking at that line up there, and that's as strong a lineup as we're putting out.
Yeah,
honestly, that's as strong a lineup as we're putting out. Like, to go against Leeds, would I have liked to have seen Ogbonna there? Yeah, probably. But I think Diop's doing an admirable job in there. I think he's doing really well.
I thought he looked a bit shaky yesterday at times.
But he's good when he you know, you've got to think he's not the most commanding in voice.
No.
Which is why Ogbonna's kind of up that and he's there now, isn't he?
Yeah.
But I listen. I'm not saying he's back to where he was, and it's a confidence thing. Obviously, it's a confidence thing, and a clean sheet after what was an incredibly ropey start, not just by him but by the entire bloody team. Listen, I think he's come on leaps and bounds from where he was 2-3 months ago, 4 months ago.
The only thing I would say, though, if Ogbonna's fit tomorrow, he comes straight back in.
Oh, of course he does. Listen, and none of us can argue the toss on that one. Now, I mentioned earlier the news report that I saw about Diop and becoming a marauding, deep-lying, midfielder in the same sort of mould as Vieira. That's not my kind of comparison. That's the website that I read it from. But they said he's got the same sort of long stride, the kind of same sort of running gait that Vieira has. That he reminds them of Vieira when he was marauding forward. Now we saw that last night on a couple of occasions. He picked the ball up deep, didn't really have a great deal out there in front of him. So he took off and off he went down the pitch, and he ran, took it about 40, 50 yards before he released a couple of good passes. And I've got to say, I understand what you're saying about him being shaky. And I mentioned earlier about the whole Rafinha thing. To be fair, Rafinha last night could have done that to most players in the Premier League. I thought he looked outstanding. I really did. I thought he was Leeds' best player by far. I don't think there was anyone else out there that really grabbed my attention. I would like to put on record right now on this video, and you can come back, and if it comes back to haunt me in a few months' time, it comes back to haunt me. But I want to put on record the Declan Rice, Calvin Phillips debate needs to be put to bed in the same way that the Declan Rice McTominay debate needs to be put to bed, in the same way that the Declan Rice and Longstaff debate needs to be put to bed. They're not even fit to lace his boots, as far as I'm concerned.
Talk Sport this afternoon around about 4.
No, I don't listen to that shit.
I had it on.
No.
I had it on. I had it on, and Adrian Durham was on, and he reckoned that Calvin Phillips outshone Declan Rice last night.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Straight up, he turned around and said that, in his opinion, Calvin Phillips outshone Declan Rice last night. Straight up.
The only reason I knew Calvin Phillips was on the pitch was because of the stupid poxy haircut the geezer's got. Now,
and it got better. It got better because he then started talking about in terms of England, not Calvin Phillips, but with Declan Rice.
Jesus Christ! Don't even do that.
No, seriously. Oh, it got better because he then started saying Declan Rice and Mason Mount. I think Mason. This is Adrian Durham talking, yeah, not me. Mason Mount, in my opinion, is nailed on to start for England in the Euros. I'm not so sure that Declan Rice is. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he said.
Wait.
Yeah. Seriously.
Declan Rice is the first name on that team sheet. Declan Rice is on that team sheet for me before Harry Kane. He's only just in front of Harry Kane as the first name on that team sheet. Declan Rice is the greatest generational talent that's switched allegiances. But in his position, he's the greatest generational talent.
Well, I think
pick another player that could have played his position, and you could include Gerrard and Lampard in this because they didn't play the same position as him.
No.
All right. In the same way that Craig Dawson has got more goals from open play than Bruno Fernandes this calendar year. Just clear that up. Declan Rice is a deep-lying midfielder. He's the greatest generational talent that this country has seen. And I'm literally, bring it on. Comments, put it in the comments, put it wherever you want.
Won't get any argument from me.
Honest to God.
Won't get any argument from me.
Seriously.
I've said for ages, there are very few midfields in world football, not just Premier League football, in world football, very few midfields that Declan Rice does not walk into and fundamentally improve, in my opinion.
It certainly doesn't make the likes of Barcelona, Bayern Munich or Real Madrid any worse than they are.
No. Whether he
PSG, he doesn't make them any worse than they are.
No. Whether he improves them, maybe not.
Possibly.
But there's very few teams that he walks. Well, there's very, very few teams for me he doesn't walk into and improve. As I say,
best player in his position in the world, as far as I'm concerned.
And there's a reason. Yeah, there's a reason why his price tag is north of 100 million. Now, for me, I wouldn't even accept 120 million quid for him. If you want him, I think 120 would have to be the starting point, an absolute minimum. And that's not to say that for 120 I'd go, there you go, Declan, thanks for your service, and off you go,
son, take care. Yeah.
But I think in order for us to enter into negotiations, that has to be the starting point.
I think that's embarrassing that's what's been. I couldn't believe
when he said it.
He needs to hang his head in shame. That is embarrassing.
And Declan Rice, I don't think that yesterday had his best game. Don't misunderstand.
No, I'm not saying he did, but he was 110% better than the donkey that was there. Yeah, no chance. Rafinha was the only player that stood out for me in that league side.
He got outshone last night by Calvin Phillips. What game were you watching?
No, the debate for me has been finished in the games that we've played against these guys so far this season. In fact, the Longstaff one was finished. Was it last season or the season before when he scored the goal? You know, he outplayed him. Listen, there is no debate. Yeah, all right. McTominay came on and scored against us in the cup. If he was good enough, he would have started. He would have started that game. Job done. I don't care. Declan Rice is better than. Can we include Eric Dyer in this? Because my God, that guy's surname is as bad as he plays.
Eric Dyer, right? As far as the defensive midfield role is concerned, if you want to compare him to Declan Rice, okay, for me, not only are they not on the same page, not only are they not in the same book, they're not in the same library.
No,
that's
right.
how far apart they are.
That's all of them. That's all 4 names that we've just mentioned there.
McTominay,
Phillips, the lot.
And anyone watching this, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that Dyer, that Longstaff, that Phillips, that McTominay are crap players. I am not saying that. But you are comparing the very finest champagne, Dom Perignon, to a can of Tizer by making that comparison.
I want to negate one thing that you've just said, and I want to distance myself from your comment.
Go for it.
You've just said that you're not saying that those players are not good players. I am sitting here now and telling you Eric Dyer doesn't even deserve to be a Premier League footballer, let alone considered for England.
I think he's a half-decent centre-back. I don't think he's all that as a central defensive midfielder.
No, as far as I'm... Listen, I think he's relegation... For me, he's relegation battle kind of hardened, that kind... He's the sort of player that Big Sam could do with right now, because he'll do a job in a relegation team or a team coming out of the Championship. Honest to God, how that guy gets anywhere near an England squad, how he's even compared to someone like Declan Rice. You know, Spurs fans, when we played them the other week, go away. Just go away. I can't even entertain it. I don't even want to. I don't even know why I'm wasting my breath talking about any of these 4 players, Phillips, etc., etc. I don't even know why I'm wasting my time. It's not even a conversation that needs to be had. If the race was run, Declan Rice has finished the race before they've even got off the starting blocks. That's what the golf is in this. If it was a race, Declan Rice is Usain Bolt and I'm Eric Dyer. He's already done 800 metres and I ain't even finished 100 metres. That's the golfing class between those. And honest to God, I mean, can you tell Naked Boy to stop running around in the background, by the way? I know we're trying to get some female followers, but there's no need for it.
I don't think we've got any female followers there. just for balance, ladies and gentlemen, I will put up the Leeds team. There it is. As I say, I got 9 out of 11. I didn't get them all positionally right. Meslier was the goalkeeper. From left to right, their back 4 was Dallas, the captain, Cooper, Llorente, and Ayling. I think if I remember rightly, I had Alioski at left back, and I had Dallas as one of the central midfielders. I think I had Klitsch as the defensive mid. I can't remember, but he was actually in the central mid. Calvin Phillips came in for his first game back after an injury. And apparently he outshone Declan Rice, according to Adrian Durran on. Rafinha was on left. Klitsch in midfield with Tyler Roberts, his midfield partner. Helder Costa on the right, who I'm not a fan, but there you go. And Patrick Bamford, who in my opinion is a modern day Andy Cole. Would you agree?
I wouldn't even give him that moniker, if I'm honest with you, mate.
Well, you know my thoughts. I think that Leeds are a modern day Newcastle under Keegan.
Yeah.
Very entertaining. I think I've said it on a few broadcasts before. They're very entertaining. They play open, expansive football. And if I was a neutral and I had some money and wanted to go and watch a Premier League team and I just wanted to be entertained, I think I'd make sure that I went to watch a game that involved Leeds United. But they're so open at the back. And
could you honestly say that they were entertaining last night?
No, maybe not last night, but generally, when I say entertaining, because you're never quite sure whether they're going to score 5 or concede 5. You know what I mean? So open. I mean, like I say, they can rip a team apart to one day and then a couple of days later get turned over by a similar scoreline. Do you know an interesting stat that I found out today? Which team in the Premier League? You'll know the answer to the first question, and you'll probably be able to work out the answer to the second. Which team in the Premier League has scored the most goals from set pieces?
Well, it's us.
Which team in the Premier League has conceded the the most goals from set pieces?
Yeah, it was Leeds last night. No,
Yeah.
Leeds.
14.
We've scored. What we scored? Is it?
I think we've now scored 14. I think
I thought they said 18. I might have been wrong, but I thought they said that they conceded 18 set piece goals. I might have been wrong. You might be right.
I think I heard 14, but it certainly. I mean, 14, 18. If we split the difference and say 16, whatever, anywhere in that range, that's a lot. It
is when you consider how many goals are scored in a season. Yeah, exactly. I was just looking. So Declan Rice by London Football website.
Yep.
Declan Rice was given a 9 out of 10 for last night's performance.
Okay, this is for a player that was outshone by Calvin Phillips. So what did he get? Did he get a 10?
Calvin Phillips on a Leeds fan page results, and I've just googled it, and it is the website is called Through It All Together, SB Nation. It's a Leeds fan site.
Okay.
Calvin Phillips was given, in my opinion, a generous 6.
Wow.
Yeah, he outshone Declan. Well, like I said, the only reason I knew he was on the pitch.
All I will say is that is the opinion of a Peterborough United fan. What does he know?
I mean, listen. At the end of the day, I was on Twitter yesterday, and I was on the when they go on. Yeah, when they go, I decided I was going to have some fun with a couple of Leeds fans last night who decided to tell me. So that wound me up. We're playing, but we're losing to a team. Mate, we're 5th. Go away. I don't even know why I entertained the comment, but I was kind of riled up by it. But go back to the start of the game. The first goal, right? So it was disallowed for offside. Do I think it was offside in live play in action? Yes, I thought it was offside. I honestly thought he was like a £5 cab ride offside. Turns out he wasn't, and looking at the VAR decisions, they could possibly feel themselves a little bit hard done by with that.
You say that. Now here's the thing. I know everybody sort of jumps up and down about the offside and VAR, but unfortunately, it's the law of unintended consequences. The moment you brought in video technology, and you have an offside law that states if any part of the body that you can legally score with is beyond the second last defender, because the last defender is obviously the goalkeeper. Yeah. So if any part of the body that you can legally score with is beyond the second last defender, or the last outfield defender, if you want to make it simple, you are offside. Now, there it is in black and white. You are either onside or you are offside. It's like you can't be a little bit pregnant, yeah? And the moment you've brought in, you can't. You either
you're right. I see where you're coming from.
And the problem is that you've got an offside law that's black and white. It's not open to interpretation, like was it a foul, wasn't it a foul? Do you know what I mean? Things like that. They are open to interpretation. Offside is fact. You're offside, you're not offside. The moment you put in a video technology that can definitively go, he was 6 centimeters offside or whatever, well, then he's offside. The goal has to be chalked off. Now, do I think that is conducive to entertaining football? No. But unfortunately, that is the law of the game. Now, until that law is changed, and I agree with what Arsene Wenger said, if there is any part of the body of the striker that is level with the last defender, so it could literally just be his boot, but the rest of him is beyond, then he's onside in that situation. The moment that no part of the striker's body is in line with the last defender, now he's off. Yeah? Now, I think that's how we
clear space. clear space between the last
but
man
again, but again, we had this before, didn't we? We had this thing of daylight. Now the problem is, again, define
daylight.
Where's the demarcation line between that's daylight and now that's too much daylight, or that's not enough daylight? Do you know what I mean?
Let me ask this question then. Okay, so obviously, I'm gonna quickly jump on here while I talk. So, what doesn't help, okay, is the positioning of the cameras that they're using, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Your cameras are not flush to your action. If you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Your cameras are not flush to the action.
Yep.
i.e., when you watch a 100-meter race or even a horse race, your cameras go down a touchline.
Yep.
Okay. I don't understand in this day and age, with the amount of money that is spent on the game of football, that we don't have the technology. We've got technology for everything else now, that I can rotate the pitch 480 degrees and turn it upside down and view it from underneath the grass in 3D on Sky's snooker table-sized iPad that they now use. But I can't get a camera that is level and in a straight line to the play, i.e. there, like that, right? Because the problem you've got is then you're working at angles. You're working angles no matter what.
Yeah.
Your interpretation that your camera frame, and someone said it earlier, your camera frame, your frames per second don't give you an exact moment of when the ball's kicked to where the player was standing. So you can either go as the boot is,
I think, isn't it?
Yeah, you can either get it as the boot's coming down to the ball, or after it's already made contact and the ball is maybe, a centimetre or two off the foot. You can't get it where it needs to be. Now, again, as I said, I was on Twitter last night and bin VAR. Get rid of VAR. We don't want VAR. Great.
Not going to happen.
Guess what? Your goal wouldn't have stood anyway because the linesman put his flag up.
He did.
It wasn't VAR that ruled out the goal. VAR checked that the linesman was correct. So the linesman raised his flag.
He can't have possibly known, though, should he? He can't have possibly known.
Listen, not to the degree that it was. We've been on the receiving end of some bad ones. Liverpool last year, when James Milner was, like I say, I think he was climbing over.
That wasn't as close. I mean, that one last night
was embarrassing.
Was
Oh, that one was close.
Against Liverpool, Milner wasn't in the same postcode as the rest of the players.
And there's my issue. But my problem with it was the flag didn't go up for 3 seconds after the initial offside decision.
Yeah.
Because the ball was played in, it was flicked past Cresswell over to Costa. It came back into the box. It was then put in the net. Once the ball had nestled, the linesman's flag goes up. I'm bored of that shit now.
The thing is, in fairness to the linesman, that's what they're told to do.
Listen, I'm not disagreeing with that. That's not what I've got the hump with. I've got the hump with the rule.
Yeah.
The rule that's been put there for these guys to follow. That's my issue. You know what? We saw it. We've seen it a couple of times already this season where the goalkeeper comes rushing out, wins the ball but clatters the player.
Yeah.
Oh, it's offside. Then why are you even letting that get to that point where that player could pick up an injury and what could necessarily be a career-ending injury, knowing that he was offside and you're going to put your flag up anyway?
I saw the flag actually a little while ago.
Offside.
Someone got injured. Exactly that scenario unfolded, where the linesman kept his flag down as they are told to do. Sorry, not linesman. I'll get told off, won't they? Referee's assistants.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Listen, at the end of the day, no, that is what it is. But no, you're right. They're told to keep their flags They're told to keep their flags down until the last possible moment. Now, what frustrates me with that is what would have been the case, okay, and I'll bring it up and we'll call it down in a second. What bugs me is what would have been the case if you go back probably about 10 years ago now, was Hunt at Reading.
Careful how you pronounce that.
That's why I said it. And he absolutely clattered, didn't he? Petr Cech.
Oh, that was when he fractured his skull.
Yes. Imagine that now. Mm-hmm. They clash. He fractures his skull. It's a career-ending injury. Luckily for Petr Cech at the time, it wasn't. The linesman puts his flag up after 3 or 4 seconds of play because Andy Hunt broke from the halfway line to get, I think his name was Andy Hunt, it was Hunt, breaks from the halfway line, races through, near enough kills Petr Cech. Let's be fair, let's not even dick around with this. Near enough kills Petr Cech, and then the flag goes up afterwards, 4 or 5 seconds after the initial offside. We're going to be changing the law then, aren't we? And you know damn well that law is going to be changed based on that. At the end of the day, these footballers are now in the same category as thoroughbred racehorses. You know, these guys are insured for millions.
Athletes.
You know, this is it. You know, and there's a lot of money involved. And if FIFA, Premier League, FA, UEFA, if they're not careful, there could well be some very expensive lawsuits on their hands because of these players that are. I'm not sure. You know, obviously players are insured, but obviously someone's got to pay out for it. And if because these stupid rules with the linesman, it's only going to take someone to get smashed badly, career-ending injury. You know, you only got to look at Dean Ashton on England duty.
What he could
you've
have
only
been.
got to look at that. Yeah, exactly. You've only got to look at that to understand that these things happen. One more thing on Dean Ashton.
Yep.
Controversial. I don't think I've said it to you before. I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen that you're over here. Dean Ashton doesn't get injured on England duty.
Yep.
Wayne Rooney doesn't have the career he has.
Quite possibly.
He doesn't. He certainly doesn't sign for United because Dean Ashton does. Dean Ashton goes to United. I'll tell you now.
When he got the injury, Rooney was already at United.
It wouldn't have mattered. He wasn't, was he?
Yeah, no, because he got the injury after the World Cup in 2006. We were going for the qualification process for Euro 2008, and it was the first. I think it was either a friendly or it was the first qualification game, and it was the last training session when he got that tackle, and that was in 2006. Rooney signed for Manchester United, I believe, in 2004. You're checking it, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure that by the time Ashton got the injury, Rooney was already at. In fact, I know he was because. Don't forget, we'd played in the 2006 FA Cup final. Rooney played in the FA Cup final a year earlier for Manchester United against Arsenal.
So you know the worst part of this is I can't find bugger all. It's bad, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way. Have a look for the FA Cup final of 05.
Yeah, you're right. Even then, I still stand by. I don't think Rooney would have had the career.
Maybe not.
Because I think Dean Ashton would have certainly gone there, and I personally I think he would have been England and Manchester United's #1 striker. I think he would have had a goal scoring record better than Alan Shearer's in the Premier League, as far as I'm concerned. I think Dean Ashton had absolutely everything. Anyway, back to the league. I've said my bit.
We're going to do 3 things before we wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a little look at this. That's the league table. So we are sitting in 5th. That's not too shabby, I think it's fair to say. We've got Chelsea, Leicester, Man United and Man City ahead of us. Obviously, Man City had their first defeat or first game where they hadn't won in a 20-game streak when Man United beat them on Sunday. But there we are in 5th place, which is a Europa League spot as things stand at the minute. 27 games played, 14 wins, 6 draws, 7 defeats, 42 goals scored, 31 conceded, plus 11 goal difference, 48 points. Now, that doesn't happen very often. A positive goal difference 27 games into a league season. Very, very unusual.
I mean, so, when you take a look at that, mate, like, honestly...
Mad, isn't it?
That could have been significantly different. I mean, we're all aware how far we could have fallen going into our game on Monday. We were all aware that we could have fallen as far as 9th, I believe, is the lowest we could have gone. There were a couple of things that went in our favour. There were a couple of bits that didn't, obviously, because we've dropped down a place. The game in hand we've got over Chelsea just happens to be against Man United, which is Sunday coming. Now, I'm not concerned about that because we've still got to play Chelsea. So, we've still got to play Chelsea. We've still got to play Arsenal. We've still got to play Man United. So we've still got to play Leicester. So I'm not... Listen, I top 4 still on. And I never thought I'd hear myself say that without some sort of mass investment in West Ham, that we're still on for a Champions League spot.
I think if you'd have offered me, before a ball had been kicked this season, top half, I'd have definitely been very happy with that, because to be honest with you, I thought we were going to be struggling again this season. I really did. And I like...
If someone had offered me... If you'd offered me at the start of the season... The points we have now as our total points tally for the season, I would have taken it there and then. It wouldn't have even bothered me top 4, top half. I would have taken the 48 points. Is it 48 points now? It is 48 points, isn't it?
Yep.
I would have taken that at the start of the season. If you said to me you're going to have 48 points at the end of 38 games, all done.
Yeah, take that. You're not getting relegated.
There's no worry about that.
Yeah.
So
2 things. The other 2 things I want to get out of the way. Duke, do you want to turn your camera around onto your shirt? Can you turn your camera around? Show the good viewers your little bit of merchandise. Okay, the eagle-eyed amongst you watching this will notice that there's a similar shirt to that one behind. You're looking at 2 kits there. Duke's one, I believe, is the away kit, and mine is the 3rd kit from the 91-92 season, which was the last season before the Premier League came into being. And you might have noticed, and you should notice on mine as well, there was a little bit of a scrawl on them both. Some bloke got a pen and put it across one day. What was his name? I can't remember.
Well, I think my one should give it away, really, shouldn't it? I mean, if you can see that.
Your one, was it the Terminator? That sounds familiar, Duke. Who might that have been?
It's my playing hero, my friend.
Yeah. We both treated ourselves.
Yeah.
We both got a shirt.
Damn straight.
Julian Dixie's autograph on it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I promised this guy that I would give a shout out on one of the streams at least. So here it is. Inks to Grails, autographs and consignments. You've got an email address there, inktograils@hotmail.com, and they are on Facebook, facebook.com, inks to Grail, or ink to Grails, apologies. If you do, just tell them the blokes from Forge from Iron sent you. We're not on an earner or anything like that, but, we got some good service out of it. We're happy with the products that we got, and we're just giving them a little shout out. It's real simple. So if any of you want to sort of have a little look on there and see what they've got, any merchandise, anything with autographs and little bits of memorabilia that you want to treat yourself to, I can thoroughly recommend their service to you, as can Duke.
What was the gentleman's name, Rob?
Paul, if I remember correctly.
It was Paul, wasn't it?
Paul Moody, I think.
Yes, that was his name. Paul, if you do happen to trip over yourself and come across this video, if you ever do meet Julian again and you need someone to come and hold the pencil case of the pens that he's going to be used to sign anything, give me a shout, mate. I don't mind standing in the corner with a couple of pens in my hands. You know, I don't mind carrying the stuff backwards and forwards to the car. No,
do you know what I found out? Do you know what I found out about him? Because I actually went and picked that up.
Yes,
there was a little bit of a problem that he was having with bits and pieces that were going on. So I said, it's not a problem. I'll go and collect it. So I shot over there on Sunday and picked it up, and fine, no problem. But I was a little bit confused because when I turned up at his house, there was a bloke standing there in an Arsenal tracksuit. And I sort of said, I'm here for the shirt, blah, blah, blah. He shot in, he got the fella out, Paul. And I was like, I was just a bit confused. And he went, no, we're all Arsenal fans. I was just naturally expecting him to be West Ham.
Yeah, I would have done, mate. I would have assumed that as well. To be fair,
doesn't take us anywhere. Apropos, absolutely nothing. And the last little thing I'm going to do, I should have done it at the beginning. I completely forgot. The usual shout out. I do apologise for not doing it at the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. But there you go. I'm getting old and senile. What can you do? Isla's Army, for those of you that don't know, she is a 6-year-old girl, Isla Caton. She is fighting for her life, ladies and gentlemen, against neuroblastoma, which is a cancer that tends to affect children more prevalently. She is requiring treatment that quite simply is not available in this country. So her parents are having to stop what they're doing, stop their jobs, all the other bits and pieces, responsibilities that they have, and literally just press the pause button and go karting across here, there, and everywhere, all corners of the globe, to try and save this poor little girl's life. This is a very expensive, very stressful situation that her family finds themselves in, let alone the fact that it is in the middle of a pandemic, which I appreciate has put pressure on everybody's finances and all the rest of it. However, this family needs more help, more than you can imagine, as I'm sure you'll empathize if you are parents, grandparents, whatever. So guys, I'm asking, give generously if you can. Whether it's £1, £10, £50, £100, whatever the amount is. You have a PayPal account there, you have a Just Giving page. If you can help, it would be much appreciated. And if you can't give anything financially, all we ask is if you can share all of the bits and pieces on that ticker below, or not the ticker, the banner below, just to sort of keep a little bit of momentum going and keep awareness out there to try and help save this poor little girl's life. I thank you very much indeed for your consideration. So, Duke, we come to the end of the post-match discussion. We have a game on Sunday against some team called Manchester United, I do believe.
Could be an interesting one, especially when you look at what's at stake now. I get the last time we played them was the FA Cup, and there was something at stake there. For me, this one holds a little bit more now. Now that we're out of that, this one holds so much more than that one initially did. So I think it'll be an interesting game. I think it'll be a good game. Yeah. We'll do a review for it.
We won't say too much about it here because obviously that's for another show. All we'll say is we play Manchester United on Sunday, the 14th of March at 7:15. So I would anticipate we're probably going to do either a recording. We might even do a live broadcast the day before on the Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll make it up as we go along, but we'll send
That's
something
all we've
out.
Ever done.
yeah. We're sort of like, just sort of suck it and see, as they say. So, okay, well, we've rattled on for an hour and nearly 10 minutes, so I think we're going to wrap it up there.
We're good at that.
Yeah, no, there you go. So, as usual, ladies and gentlemen, please comment in the section down below. Tell us your thoughts, as usual, what you think about the Leeds game. Did we play well? Am I barking up the wrong tree when I say that our passing isn't good enough? You know, do you agree with me? Is there anything that Duke said that you agree with, disagree with? Anything you want to sort of like get off your chest about the game against Leeds United? Good, bad, or indifferent, you've got a comment section below the video. We like to sort of see your opinions, and at the end of the day, you know, just because sort of like we say one thing, you say another, it doesn't mean to say I'm right, you're wrong. You know, we can find some common ground. So, you know, we like to hear all opinions. Please like the video. That would be great. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, click all, and you will be notified of all the new content that Duke and I upload as and when we upload it. And as usual, you can find us on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook, Forge from Iron. And you can find us on Twitter at Forge Talk. That's Duke. I'm Gatesy. We're Forge from Iron. Thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen. Only one thing left to say. On to Old Trafford. Try and pick up the 3 points. Come on, you Irons.